Hi everyone! Today we are going to be creating a penguin together, and one of the things that we're going to be talking about is the word value. So we're going to start by just drawing out the body of our penguin, and then we're going to add in that vocabulary word value and use that as a part of our penguin project. The first thing that I'm going to do is I'm just going to lay out the biggest shape of my body. And I want to make sure that it's almost filling the entire page. So I am going to start close to the top. I am going to come down. I'm going to scooch over a little bit, curve, and back up and meet. So you're going to notice that it's almost kind of like this egg shape. It is not quite an egg shape. It's got a little bit of wiggle to it. It is okay if yours is a nice round egg shape. You want to have the top a little bit more narrow than the bottom. And you don't want it going all the way out to the sides, because the next shape that we're going to be adding are the wings that kind of pop out on our penguin. So I'm going to come about not quite halfway down, and I am simply going to come out and then back just like that, because they have little wings. They're almost more like flippers than they are wings, and it is okay if they are not exactly the same. Okay, so there are my two wings. Down at the very bottom, we are going to draw a couple of shapes for feet. So I'm going to come in and I'm just going to make it kind of wiggly. So there's one foot, and so I kind of bump out, back in, out, and then back. So I have almost like 3 bumps that are sticking out. Oh, I'm going to make another one down here. And it's going to come back. Next, we're going to move to the inside of our penguin, and our penguin is going to be much more like a baby penguin, where they really haven't established that the full, like the really white belly and the black outside. When the penguins are younger, they're much more gray tones, but we're going to be using that to our advantage when we start adding the value. One thing that we are going to be doing, though, is kind of creating that mask shape for the penguin. And so above where our wings are, we are just going to curve in a little bit and curve in a little bit. From here, we're going to make this really weird, big, funky M shape. So I'm going to curve out. I am going to come down. Okay, and then I'm going to do the same thing on this side. I'm going to come up nice and big and come down. Then we're going to add in our beak shape, which is going to be a hill. And I might even make that more of a hill. Then, if I can add a point right in the middle, and I'm going to curve down, and I'm going to make a smaller U at the bottom. So now it looks like that's the beak where it would open. And then I'm going to add 2 dots for eyes. Okay. One of the things that you are going to want to do after we do all of this is we're probably going to outline these with crayon, not marker, because the value of our artwork is going to help that. So I am going to start to color, and I'm going to explain what I do as I do it, because value with a crayon is super easy to do. It's how firmly or how lightly you press with your crayon. So the wings, this kind of almost like helmet looking shape, and the feet, I am going to press firmly using my black crayon. So I'm going to press really dark. I want it to be nice and dark. Now that I have these sections finished, we're going to also add a really nice dark stripe kind of along and underneath the belly. So what I am going to do first with my crayon lightly, and if you are a friend who wants to be able to erase it just in case, you can absolutely use a pencil to draw this line lightly. I am going to come down from the wing, kind of where the wing joins the body, and then I am going to kind of make this nice curved shape. And what we're trying to do kind of is we are going to say that under here there's a shadow and it's going to be really, really dark. So I'm also going to color this really pressing firmly. We're going to gradually get lighter and lighter and lighter as we go up. And when you see the finished project, it's going to make it look like the belly is curving under. But it is also a tool that artists use by changing the value, how light or dark something is. So I am going to color in my darkest shade, because when you add black to something, it is a shade. Okay, so now I have that nice dark, my darkest value at the bottom. So that's the darkest black I can make. Next, I'm going to come in with another curve. And this time, I'm not going to press quite so hard this time. So I don't want it to totally match the black that I have already on my paper. So you'll notice that I am pressing just a little bit lighter. And so my coloring looks a little bit softer. Okay, so now I have my darkest and then a little bit lighter. And I'm going to do it again. So I'm going to kind of keep going and I'm going to try to press a little bit lighter this time too. This is tricky for some students to do. So I'm going to press even lighter. Okay, so I know it's a little hard to see with my camera the way that it is, but you will see that I have 1, 2, 3, and now I'm going to try to make one even lighter. And I'm just loosely going in. So on this line, if I have a few white spaces left, it is okay. I'm not going to panic. So what we're doing is we're started really dark at the bottom, then we went a little bit lighter, and now we're going for our last one. And then the lightest value is where we leave our artwork white for the background. Then what I'm doing is I'm just going in and I'm kind of softening up where the values change. So I'm trying to make them fade a little bit better so it's less of a stripe. But if you like how it looks kind of with that stripey look, that's okay. So I'm going to hold this closer up and you can see how the belly ends up looking nice and round. Okay. And then it comes up to here. So penguins' beaks are normally fairly dark. So I am going to color in this bottom part dark. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to color the edges dark and then leave a little bit of that white right towards the middle so that it looks like it's a bit more three-dimensional. Now we can work on our background. One of the things that I like about this is that we're going to use a bluish, just to add some details for the snow that they would be near, or if they're on some ice, and then we'll color the sky. So I'm just going to make a line with my blue-green crayon. And then I'm just going to kind of fade that towards the front. So I have it darker at the back, lighter in the front. And again, I'm just adding some lines side to side. Do the same thing on this side, darker at the back, lighter at the front. And here I can just add a couple of lines just so it gives me a little bit of interest. For my background, I'm going to make it look like there's a sunset happening. So I'm going to add a really tiny yellow dot right off to the side. Then I'm going to lightly color side to side for this because we want that to show the color spreading with the yellow. And kind of make it a bit taller. Then we're just going to keep working our way around the color wheel. If you have a yellow orange, that would be perfect for the next color. And I am going to color it right into the sky, right into the, oh my goodness, right into that yellow a little bit. Because what I'm kind of doing is making this nice curved shape for the sunset. So that was my yellow orange. Next, I'm going to use my regular orange because that's going to darken this up a little bit. We're going to say that probably just barely comes there. Next, I'm going to use a red orange. And if you don't have these colors, what you could do is you can that would happen when you overlap your red into your orange. So if you do not have a red orange, but you do have a red and an orange, you would kind of get this color. And at this point, that would be kind of coming out and coming down over here. And I might add some regular orange back in there too. Okay, so you'll see how it's almost like this wide, really, really wide rainbow. And here I go with the regular orange. And I overlap them so it doesn't end up looking too stripy. So I'm going to keep going and I will check back in when it's all finished. Alright, now you will see that I have my sky blended from yellow all the way up to violet. So I did yellow here, I did the orange, or the yellow orange, so I did overlap my colors into each other, and that's how you get that nice fading effect. We have our value penguin, so I am looking for at least 3 different values: a dark, a medium, and a light. Then the white. Okay, so really that's 4 different values because we have all the way to white. We added a little bit of dimension with our ice in the background, and I think these are pretty cute. So I hope you enjoyed following along and experimenting with value and blending our colors a little bit, and I can't wait to see what you've made. I'll see you next time. Bye everyone.